Hello guys, welcome back to SWS Boxing. And today I'm delighted to get back on the channel Dan Garber. He's currently had seven wins with four defeats. And it's fight week for him. He's boxing Pavel Sour in Munich. And yes, how are you doing, Dan?
I'm all good, yeah. Like you say, fight week this week. Fly out to Germany tomorrow lunchtime. Weigh-ins to Saturday at 11. No, sorry, we're having the weigh-in tomorrow. Friday, it's a day before weigh-in. And we're fighting on Saturday night. So it's going to be a busy month for me. So I'm fighting, well, fingers crossed it all goes well on Saturday. I'm fighting next week as well.
Yeah, exactly that. But before we get into that, talk about the fight your last fight you had in December. Again, another short notice fight. You took on Vidal Riley. Talk about that fight.
I did, yeah. I think I'm getting pretty well known for these short notice fights now, aren't I? So yeah, basically, uh, I mean, my last fight before that previously were in July uh, on a home show against Ryan LeBon, which were a points win. Now, I'd had a couple of offers in July. I mean, we had offers, we'd had offers. I think must have three or four. We'd accepted every single one. You know, they were with like 4 week notice, 6 week notice, and for whatever reason, all these fights just kept falling through. So I was just like, am I ever going to get a fight here? Uh, Obviously, we knew about a home show that were coming up in February, so in Bradford. So we said we'd jump on that. You know, Christmas were coming up. Thought, no, what's going to happen now? And I mean, I'm always in gym, but I'm just ticking over kind of thing. Obviously, I'm not training like I am for a fight. I'm just, just ticking over until we do get a date set. So it was my work Christmas party basically on the Friday night. On the Friday, and I get a call from John Wish, who does the matchmaking and things at Sky. Well, he got in touch with my manager Glenn Banks. So I got a call then from Glenn saying, Dan, I've got a Christmas present for you. I said, oh, what's that? He said, a fight tomorrow night. Oh, like, against who and where? He said Liverpool. Now, at first, I thought, oh, it must be like somebody like that Bomber Brown. It was based down there because I've been offered him before. And I was like, oh, it's not Bomber Brown, is it? He went, no, it's Fidel Riley. And I was like, well, that's a Sky show, isn't it? I said, a day's 24-hour notice. He went, yeah. So anyway, I said, how much? So he told me a figure. I said, go back to him. I told him what I wanted. I said, it'll have to be a bit more than that. So I went back, come back to me, yeah, with an offer that I wasn't going to say no to. So I was straight down to Liverpool for weighing, like 2 o'clock. Did the weighing down at Sky. Obviously, come face to face with Vidal. Uh, I mean, I had no to lose. I felt
And you had a bit of exchange words, didn't you, at the weigh-in?
a little bit. I mean, to be honest with you, before I went on to get weighed in, one of the CEOs at Sky came up to me and says, "Oh, Dan, when you go up there, he says just let him know he's in for a fight, kind of thing." You know, it were all for sure, really, because that's not me. I don't do any of that stuff. Bit like when I boxed Tom Carter. You know, Tom Carter loves all that. You know, try to get in your head and things like that. Some fighters do that. It's all propaganda and things, but it's not really something that I do. So yeah, I had a few little words that were it, not too serious. Just says, see you tomorrow night kind of thing. But it was just a bit, it happened so quick, getting that fight. Normally I'd stay down there, but I just thought it was on in Liverpool, so I came back home. And I couldn't really think about it. I knew how good he was because a guy that I do a bit of training with called Mally McIver, he's one of the coaches at GB. Now, he rung me up because he's seen that this fight had been made. And he just asked me, he said, I hope you're getting paid well for this fight. And I says, I am. I said, what do you know about him? And he says, in the last 20 years of having any fighter on the GB setup, and that's including all your gold medalists like Yal Gafai and Anthony Joshua, etc., guys like that, he said that Vidal was the standout amateur that they'd had. who were coming through the program, and he disappeared at 18. I mean, if you look at his amateur record, he won 7 national titles. He won an Olympic junior gold medal. He was a European silver medalist. So he was flying really, but he just disappeared off the scene. Obviously, did what he was doing. Came back and he signed with Mayweather Promotions on BoxRec. Obviously, he had his first 5 fights in America under Mayweather Promotions. He left that banner and he came over to the UK. Obviously, he signed with Sky. So I knew he was good and everything like that.
English champion as well.
Well, he beat. If you look as well, he beat. What's the Nigerian guy called? Lawal.
Miguel Lawal.
Yeah, he was British and Commonwealth champion. He's in his previous fight. He beat him over 12 rounds. So I thought he must be good, to beat a guy because that Lawal can really, really bang as well, and he's a talent. So he comfortably outboxed him. So obviously I went down there, fight night, wasn't nervous or out like that. I just have nothing to lose at all, really. Got warmed up, etc. And got in ring and thought I just want to feel what he's got kind of thing. And it was six.
Round one, it was more of a feeling out sort of process, wasn't it?
It was. Started, what I know, straight away, I just tried to catch him with a big left hand. I just went out and just swung a big left, and it slipped. He dodged out of the way. I was watching what he was doing, tried to jab with him for a little bit. And what he was doing was, he was working, he jabbed, he was fainting to my body and then coming up with over the top. And there was no real power in his punches, but it was so fast. It was, like, I tried to punch with him and I just couldn't. It was like 10 shots at a time. It was just rapid. And he was in and out. And he was all over the place. Anyway, caught me with some big shots and stuff, and I took them. Got to my corner, and Jimmy sat me down. Jimmy first, obviously, and he was like, "Come on, you've took his best shots now." And I said, "Yeah, yes. There's not much power in him." Jimmy said, "But I said he's lightning." I said, "He's just rapid. I'm getting peppered." So second round started. Same again. I had my hands tight, kind of thing. I tried to take him on the gloves, and then with about 20 seconds to go in that round, he's done me with he's hit me with an overhand right, and he broke my nose straight away.
Could you feel it?
No,
the moment it landed?
No, not a thing. When the referee jumped in, I said to the ref, "What are you doing?" And the first thing he said to me, he says, "Your nose has snapped." And I didn't realise how bad it was until Jimmy got in and he said, "Yeah." I said, "Is it bad?" He says, "Yeah." And I looked down, and my shorts were just red, they were just claret from the blood. Went back to my change room. I looked in the mirror and I was like, wow. I mean, my nose were across my face.
Did you not think it was a fault a bit early, the stoppage, or?
To be honest with you, I said to the ref, "What are you doing?" But when I went to the hospital, he said it's one of the worst breaks he'd seen in a long time. My nose was a complete mess. If the ref had let that go on, there'd have been some serious damage. I mean, I had to go on that knife and have surgery on my nose 2 weeks after it. The next day, honestly, it was a complete mess. I was struggling with the breathing and things like that. So, in hindsight, it probably did me a favour jumping in. I know some people said, "Oh, it looked a bit thingy," but my nose were a mess.
It saved you for another day, sort of thing.
Do you know what it was? I broke my nose back in May sparring with Hughie Fury, and it was the exact same punch that Hughie caught me with, the exact same break, side of the nose, and my nose had just gone straight across, and my septum had collapsed inside. So I went to speak to him after I got a picture with him and that, and we just had a little chat, etc. And I sent him a message next day, to be fair, just saying, thanks for the opportunity, kind of thing. We didn't expect anything like that, and to be fair, it was pretty cool. He was like, "No, thank you. Without you, I wouldn't have been able to fight." He'd been in camp for like 12 weeks. Obviously, his fight had fallen through like the day before, kind of thing. So he were in shape. He were on fire, really. We had a good chat. Yeah, he were a nice enough kid, really. I just wished him all the best. I think he's good. He's gonna do well. There's no two ways about it. He's a talented guy. I mean, he's fighting Siobhan Clark, I think, next.
Yeah, I mean, would you, and I know it's a while out until, they've still got quite a few, but early prediction for that Chev Clark fight, I believe that's for the British title, and personally, I think that's gonna. Of course, Chev's coming off a
Well,
defeat in December, but that's gonna be a cracking fight.
yeah, I think Styles, like I always say, I think I've said it to you before, Styles make fights. That Siobhan Clark's he's decent. He's got, he likes to get in and have a fight. But yeah, I think that Riley's just technically, I think he'll be too good for him to be. I'm picking him to win on points, Vidal Riley, to be honest. That'd be my pick. And it's on the Eubank undercard as well at Tottenham Hotspur.
It
So yeah,
is, yeah.
it'd be a good fight. But yeah, like I say, there were no shame in it. It was 24-hour notice. I haven't boxed for 5 months. And Skyvo, they did say to me as well when I took it. At first I was a bit like, 24-hour notice, but like I did, like my manager said, he's not Moses Atauma. Like we were took on 3 days' notice. I knew he wasn't going to punch like that guy. You have to look where Moses Atauma is now, and
Yeah.
it's been a mad 14 months for me.
Talking about Moses, did you see that Charles Martin called him out?
I did. I think that's a good fight for him, to be honest with you. He's 20-year-old, and you've got to think Charles Martin took Jared Anderson 10 rounds.
He did quite recently as
He
well.
did, yeah. Did he? Has he fought Andy Ruiz, Charles Martin? I can't remember if he has or not.
I'm not sure about
No,
that.
but I know. Yeah, he did pretty. He wobbled Anderson as well. I think it went 9th or 10th round. So yeah, I don't know who they expect Moses to fight. He's not even old enough to fight for the British title. You've got to be 21 to fight for a Lonsdale belt.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's a rule. When it rules, yeah, it's mad. You can fight for a world title at any age, as long as you're a professional. But for a Lonsdale belt, you've got to be 21. So he's never going to fight Fabio Wardley, who's
And
British
they're
champion.
stable mates, I
And
believe.
well, Frank Warren's got anybody who's every heavyweight in country, basically.
And then another one that I'm going to mention because I know that he's got signed
Well,
the other
yeah,
day, Delicious Ori.
Richard, sorry, I've been keeping an eye on who he's been signing with, to be honest with you, because you can probably guarantee we'll end up getting a call to box him in his debut or his second fight, maybe. You never know. But
Yeah.
I mean, I've got a busy. I mean, the last 15 months for me really have been mad. Boxing Tom Carty over in Dublin at like a sellout arena. Moses Atauma, Vidal Riley. Obviously, I've had 2 home shows in between against Joe Nakalovavu, Ryan LeBon. I'm
Mm.
boxing this week in Germany. I'm
And
boxing
hopefully Phil Williams as well next
next
week.
Phil Williams next week, and then I've been promised a big one in March, which potentially will be the biggest fight of my career.
Is
Really,
that the one you were telling me about?
it was, yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, so we'll get on to the fight this weekend. Pavel Sour, is that how you say his name? But yeah, he's sort of yeah, I mean he's sort of what you've been doing. He's took the away fights as well.
I
But
think
this is when I saw this got announced, I thought this is a great fight for you.
it is, yeah, because I think he's needing a win, you see, and if you look at who he's been in with, I mean, he went 10 rounds with Jermaine Franklin. He's been in with Filip Hrgovic. He's been in with
Carty like you. Carty would be good to get on for a prediction video of your fight with him.
Huey Fury. He's been in with Huey Fury. He's been in with the guy who just won the Olympic gold medalist in from Uzbekistan.
Kabayel as well, I've just seen now.
He's been in with Caballal. He's been in with everyone. So
Nathan Gorman as well, Shuey, as you just mentioned, I
he's, he's,
think.
he's been in with the
Ergovic
Jamaica
as well, I forgot about that one.
Hrgovic, Ricardo Brown, the guy who I could be fighting in March in Canada. He's been in with him. So he's been in with all the top names. And like I say, Jermaine Franklin, it took Dillian White to a majority decision. A lot of people thought he beat him, and he went 10 rounds with him. So he's wanting to win. But to be honest with you, and I don't mean in any disrespect, I wouldn't do that with a fighter. But I've been watching him, and I think he's past his best, to be honest with you. He looks a bit shot to me. So I know Germany's a bad place to go for decisions, but from what I've seen of late, it don't look like he holds a shot very well. So I thought it would, when it got offered to me, I jumped at it straight away, and I thought that's a perfect fight for me. I mean, I think he's had 40 what's it, 46, 47 professional fights, something like.
Yeah, because he's had, well, 19 wins, 27 defeats. So,
Yeah, so
yeah,
like
40.
he's not.
Oh.
Yeah, he's not like one of these journeymen who has like 70 fights and loses 68, wins one and
Yeah,
draws
I
one.
think this is a perfect fight for you.
Yeah,
Um,
it is. Yeah,
and
it's a
it
good.
should gel quite nicely, this one.
Yeah, it's a good one. Yeah, so it's at a decent venue as well. So hopefully, fingers crossed to win that. Then I win next week, and then we can get that one announced for March because we've been offered one on BT Sport in March,
Mm.
and then we've been offered the one on DAZN.
Yeah, but
But
your fight this week, it's in Germany, so another country,
yeah,
getting ticked off the list. And do you know, I know you'll probably find out tomorrow and stuff, like more if it's getting shown anywhere and stuff.
yeah, there'll probably be a link. Probably I'll find out because I fly out tomorrow at dinner time. We'll get picked up by promoters or whoever's doing the driving for them, etc. And they'll give us all details then when we get to the hotel. So yeah, I'll be posting links on my social media. But yeah, it'd be a busy. I mean, I think this will be like
How difficult is it going to be, trying to get a, is it a matter of, you have to sort of put it on him from the get-go? Because, I believe he's a matchmaker for the show as well, I've seen.
well, I don't think there's someone else who's matchmaking for it. So I got a call from another guy who were one of the matchmakers. Well, my manager did anyway to make the fight. But yeah, I think over there you've got to. They say you've got to knock them out to get a draw, don't they? That's what they say in Germany. But I've just got to put it on him, yeah. And I'm pretty confident. I really am that I'll beat him. Since Box Vidal, I have been on it in the gym because I knew I was boxing in February anyway. So, and then this came up, and I thought 2 fights in a week. It's a chance to get 2 good wins. I mean, Callum Simpson did the same lately, didn't he?
He did. He
Yeah,
boxed Steed Woodall, knocked him out in
and that
two
Elvis,
rounds, and then he
yeah,
beat that Elvis
yeah,
last week. Yeah.
yeah. So yeah. I mean, I just need to keep busy. It'll be 8 fights that in 14 months for me, which I think if you're looking country, apart from your journeymen like Phil Williams and who else is there? God, what's his name? Jake
The
Darnell.
ball.
I think he's packed in Jake now. I don't think there's anybody as active as what I'll have been in the country really. I mean, I know my level. I'm not a journeyman, but I'm more of a, like I always say, a gatekeeper kind of thing. That's
Yeah.
I know what my level is. But if I get them 2 wins, I get a big one then in March, another big one, which
Did you
usually no.
watch Pavel's fight v Carty? Of course, Carty stopped him in round two.
I've seen the finish. I've not seen the fight. I know he stopped him with body shots. But yeah, I have seen that finish. Yeah, but he's heavy-handed. Is Tom, to be fair,
Yeah.
very heavy-handed.
Do you feel like do you know much about the card you're boxing on?
There's a guy fighting on it who boxed Roy Jones Jr. For WBU belt. He's from Egypt. He's fighting. There's a guy who's on it who's 138, lost 4, a cruiserweight. It's called Hayato Summit, I think he's called. I think he's had like 26, 118. I was looking, and I've seen he'd been in with Roy Jones. So, I mean, he got stopped by Jones in a round. But yeah, I think there's some pretty decent fighters on it, to be fair.
Yeah, because did you? Yeah, I remember you messaged me that the other day. Did you also see? I think was it Oliver McCall who fought Lennox Lewis? He fought the other day as well.
Yeah, 59-year-old, wasn't he? Yeah, it's his second comeback fight. Yeah.
You fancy that one?
Oh, yeah, I wouldn't mind that. I think he's a bit past his best now, to be fair. So yeah,
Yeah. Um. Yeah. So what can we expect from you out in Germany? Can we expect fireworks in this fight?
100% because I have to win both fights. I have to win on Saturday, and I have to win next week.
Would you say these two are must win?
But I have to win. Yeah, because if I want so this fight that came about in Canada, that's on the zone. I got offered this fight last year, Now he got injured. We got the contract sent and everything over, signed it, we'd agreed money and everything. So it's now come back up this fight now. You know, this guy's a 2020 Olympian. He went to Tokyo. Big guy, 13 and 0. So I said, yeah, I'll have the fight for March. And we were haggling over the purse, etc., for a little bit. But what, to be fair to the promoter, what he's turned around and said is right. You win this week, you win next week, we'll give you what you want, basically. So yeah, I have to win. If I lose, I won't be boxing them, so I have to win.
But final prediction for your fight this weekend?
Stoppage win. I've got to look good, yeah. I've I have to really put it on him this weekend. Get that next week against that. I don't know about Phil Williams, to be honest with you. I've only ever seen him box. Well, I say seen him box. I've seen him box on TV a couple of against big names, and he knows how to survive and stuff. And I watched him. I saw his fight with Peter Naylor over in Manchester, and it was a really close fight. To be fair, he come and have a go, and they were clowning about at times and things.
When we seen that fight, you and Peter Naylor.
I don't know what's happened to Peter. I thought he was supposed to be. Well, his opponent pulled out at Central Area, didn't he?
Yeah, because now I believe Lewis Wright's boxing Josh Sandlin.
Yeah, that's
What do
right.
you make of that one?
Well, I mean, it's that Lewis, so you've got to make him a favourite there, haven't you? I mean, Josh comes to fight and stuff, he always does. But it's on Lewis's home show. He's a bit younger, fresher. He's a tall kid as well. He's got a bit of power as well. So you'd have to make him a favourite. But, Josh will be a live underdog. He always comes in as a go. But Peter was supposed to fight
Lewis.
Lewis, and Lewis pulled out injured.
I thought Naylor got injured, no?
No, we're definitely Lewis. Pete were ready to fight. Yeah, it was Lewis because Pete still boxed on the. They got a late.
Oh yes, he did. Yeah.
He boxed an 8-rounder against a kid and won. So yeah, it wasn't Pete, but
again that was a competitive fight, wasn't it? That one.
Yeah. So I don't know what's happened. I thought these two would be fighting again for it. So maybe Peter will be fighting the winner for it. I don't know. I don't really know. To be honest with you. Yeah. Because it's on a VIP promotions, isn't it? So
I think it's in March.
Yeah, that's right. It's in March. I think March the 8th or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's coming up soon though.
Yeah. So yeah, it'll be a good fight. It's a 10-rounder. But I think you'd have to make that Lewis the favourite. Obviously, he's had a few stoppage wins as well on his record, so he's the one carrying the power, and he's the bigger man as well. I think he's about 6'6" as well.
Yeah, 100%. And as always, before I let you go, Dan, do you want to thank the usual people that are helping you in your career at the minute?
Yeah, I mean, I always got to say thanks, to my trainers, Jimmy and Martin over at Brighouse Boxing Gym. And obviously Glenn Banks, my manager, he's always in touch with me every day. Is Glenn? We're always looking for fights, who's paying the most money, etc. And that's what it all comes down to. But it'd be nice now to get one of these fights we notice, exactly like I had with Tom Carty. When you get noticed, it's always been a mental thing for me as well. So it's obviously it's massive for me getting that notice. It just helps you prepare that so much better.
Like for this fight, your fight this weekend, you had quite a bit of notice. This got confirmed in December, I believe.
That's right, yeah. So I've been on it. Obviously, I've had nose surgery. I had surgery on my nose at the end of December. I think it was something like the 29th of December, something like that. I had surgery on it. So I did my first proper spar back last week with Mitchell Barton. Mitchell's going to Commonwealth Games this year for Scotland. So that was.
Is he one to watch out for, do you think?
Mitchell's very good. He was signed with Frank Warren. He's had 2 pro fights as Mitchell, but he's gone back to amateur setup because Scotland have put him on podium squad. So obviously he's getting funding now. So if he can win a medal, and when he turns over again, he's hoping then, to able to negotiate a better deal for himself, because he's not a ticket seller. He admitted that he's not one of these to sell tickets and things. So he's wanting to try and get a medal to bargain, obviously. But yeah, he's very out of anyone I've ever been in with. That includes Mosey the Talma, Dave Allen, Tom Carty, Huey Fury, guys like this. They don't come close to how strong he is. They're not a patch on him strength wise, and they're all strong guys. But yeah, he's a freak of nature, is Mitchell.
I'll keep an eye out for him. And from me, Dan, as always, a big thank you for your time and
No,
best of luck over in Munich.
thanks a lot. I'll speak to you soon, bud. Cheers.
Bye, mate.